We have a free trade agreement with the United Kingdom, which covers 99% of goods that are traded. We have a free trade agreement with the European Union, which covers 99% of the goods that are traded.
For his first international trip as Prime Minister, Mark Carney of Canada defied convention on Monday by traveling to Europe instead of the U.S. The Canadian PM said on Tuesday that he is not in a rush to discuss the current trade battle between the two nations with his U.S. counterpart, stating that a conversation will be made at the appropriate time. His warm reception in France and the United Kingdom contrasted sharply with his nation's deteriorating ties over its southern neighbor. After being greeted by a joyful President Emmanuel Macron in Paris, Carney traveled to London, where he met with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and had a private meeting with King Charles III, the head of state of both Canada and Britain. Carney, who took office on Friday and is well known to many European leaders due to his years as a central banker, told Macron at a joint press briefing that Canada is the most European of non-European countries and pledged to be a reliable, trustworthy, and strong partner to Paris.
Canada is a reliable, trustworthy, and strong partner of France, which shares our values and lives them through action during this age of economic and geopolitical crises.
The 24th PM and leader of Canada's Liberal Party switched between French and English during a joint news conference at the Élysée Palace.
Canada and France have been reliable allies for centuries.
Regarding Carney, Macron said, "We're welcoming a friend, and we're receiving you with a lot of joy," praising Canada for standing side by side with France and Europe.
Mr. Prime Minister, dear Mark, as you understood, here we're welcoming a friend, and we're receiving you with a lot of joy, with a lot of ambition, and many projects together.
While Canada's relations with Washington are at an all-time low, Carney's warm reception in the West prompts Ottawa to consider restructuring its relationships. Trump has imposed harsh taxes on Canada's economy since he returned to the White House, declared that Canada ought to become the 51st state in the Union, and frequently disparaged Carney's predecessor Justin Trudeau before he resigned by calling him governor instead of prime minister. Trump's intention to annex Canada is unthinkable and disrespectful, according to Carney, who said after his meeting with King Charles, he said the U.S. president should cease making such remarks before we sit down and have talks about our broader partnership.
We've called out those comments. They're disrespectful, but not helpful, and they need to stop they will have to stop before we sit down and have a conversation about our broader partnership with the United States.
He said that he had discussed strengthening security, military, and commercial connections with French and UK authorities, and that the nation was re-evaluating its decision to buy F-35 aircraft supplied by the U.S.
We're looking for, with respect to the United States, is to have a more comprehensive discussion and negotiation of our overall commercial and security relationship. And when the United States is ready to have that conversation, we're more than ready to say.